So let's be real. I've never been one to fully understand people who play fighting games. I understand the appeal of it, but I just look at fighting games and say, man, these companies really screw over these people. It's because from an outsider's perspective, you look at like here's Street Fighter, because I bought Street Fighter 4, and then they released another one, and then they released the one after that, and they keep releasing these new games and they throw a tag on it like now it's Super Street Fighter or now it's Ultra Street Fighter, and they add a few characters. But for somebody like me who looks for gameplay and says if you're gonna throw out another sequel and ask me to pay another $60, you better have a whole new system with a whole new everything. Like, let's say you can't reuse the first person shooter now in this time and age, but let's say back to Halo, the differences between Halo 2 to Halo 3 to Halo Reach. They're totally different games, and if you played them separately, you say, hey, they added a lot more things, and they added different graphics and all kinds of things. Where I look at the Street Fighter series and I say, they don't really add much to their branches of games, except for maybe a new roster of characters, a few changes in the old ones, like that could be fixed in a patch, and maybe, let's say, a new map. And that's about it. And it's just new characters, a few changes to the old ones, and a new map, and that's about all you're going to get. You're not going to get like a new game type or anything like that. And costumes, which cost a lot of money. So when I look at, these companies like Capcom, and they do this ridiculous stuff with they just charge their customers these ridiculous amounts of money through new games and costumes for their characters. Mortal Kombat doesn't do this type of shit. I swear to God, Mortal Kombat doesn't, put out a new game every single freaking 5 months. I swear to God. I look at Street Fighter, it does it every 5 months, or they put out something new that you have to pay for, where I don't play Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter that much, but I don't get that feel when I look at things like Mortal Kombat compared to Street Fighter. So on the topic of just being not normal, but being somebody who is not into fighting games, I look at it like this. Fighting games take a lot of time and effort to master. They're not like a first-person shooter or anything else on that matter. I think fighting games are in a league of its own, no pun intended, of mastery and truly understanding the game. I mean, you could argue about, MOBAs and even strategy games, but I have to say that Street Fighter, you have to get everything precisely right, and you only get one opportunity to pull off that combo you just opened that guy up with. And it really is a skill to be able to master Street Fighter to its peak and be able to do competitions and not crack under pressure and pull off combos within split seconds. And I think that's something different from, let's say, League of Legends, or let's say Command and Conquer. It's because Command and Conquer and League of Legends, you're kind of like in your own little world, and you don't really have to listen to anybody. You put on headphones, you chill out, and you just do you, and it's between you and the guy. As with fighting games or things of that nature, competition, they have whole crowds behind them. I mean, if anybody watch Evo, they got like hundreds or 1,000 people behind them. I don't know the number, but they have a lot of people behind them. They're all yelling and ranting, and some of them bring headphones, but literally there's so many people there and there's so much noise happening that those headphones can do so much to block out the huge crowd that's behind you. Playing fighting games is a really, really tough and hard skill, and it's something that I could never do. And if I tried to do it, it'd be a catastrophe. It's because I would never be able to master something to that point. Matter of fact, Street Fighter and all those games were something you really had to start with from your childhood. You really had to sit there and be playing since like Street Fighter 2 HD Remix. You have to be sitting there from then. And, when you look at these really big professionals, or from the ones I've seen, they're like, oh yeah, I have been playing since Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter 3, and I remember the mechanics back then, which is, I was not somebody who did that. I didn't. It's because I played things like Halo, and I could never sit down as a kid and think to myself, I'm going to master this game. And those people who have had friends around them who've tried to master that game too. So they all kind of, rose up together. Where doing Street Fighter Solo is really hard and really difficult. Just like, more so than any other things. Doing things solo is hard. I understand that. But doing Street Fighter Solo is extremely hard. And people who have done it solo, I salute. But for somebody like me, I could never do Street Fighter. So again, I think that Street Fighter, or not Street Fighter, Capcom, kind of screws with its fan base a little bit with how much money they make them spend. But if they're happy to do that, who am I to question you? It's your money, it's your life, run it. But I'm just saying that from somebody from an outside perspective, I wouldn't be very happy with having $460 just for 5 characters and 3 new maps and a different intro. And I hope that Street Fighter keeps going, though. I would just hope that.